Welcome, everyone, to the Computer and the Brain, a data analytics talk series. Today, we're diving into part three AI agents and all that come with it. And we're joined by someone who truly embodies the intersection of innovation, communication, and human connection and technology, Dr. Sonam Gupta. Sonam, she's a dynamic data scientist and educator with a PhD in data science from no place other than Harrisburg University and currently serves as the developer advocate at Telnix, a company known for its cutting edge work in voice AI, APIs, eSIM technologies that empower developers with full control and flexibility in building intelligent communication systems. And beyond her technical expertise, Sonam's passionate about community builder. She's a compassionate community builder and storyteller. She hosts the popular podcast AI Chronicles and produces engaging online content that makes advanced topics like natural language processing, generative AI, and machine learning accessible to audiences around the world. Now, her ability to translate complex ideas into relatable insights has earned her recognition as a leading voice in the evolving landscape of data science and AI. And today, uh, we're going to tap into that experience and explore what AI agents are, how they're changing the way we build and interact with technology, and what it means for the future of human machine collaboration. So please join me in welcoming our special guest, Dr. Sonam Gupta, to the Computer and the Brain Talk Series. So, Sonam, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Um,
Thank you, Dr. Huggins. And that
you're
lovely introduction. I don't have to cover anything else in that introduction anymore.
Yes. Okay, we're done. Thank you very much. I don't know if you know, but I think your camera's off there. I don't know if you realize already, so I can't see it there. But why don't we get started and uh, with some questions here. So to start things off, if you can help us, Sonam, when
Mhm.
we say AI agents, what exactly do we mean?
I love this question. So many people have different definitions of what an AI agent is. The way I like to think about an agent is it's an autonomous system that exists to make your life easier in different ways. For example, where it can take decisions on your behalf. For instance, if I have to if I have a travel agent, okay, where it asks me questions about wherever I'm planning a trip to. It will ask me questions, for example, where I want to go, when I want to go, for how long, do I want to stay at a hotel or Airbnb? It could basically plan my entire itinerary. It can give me recommendations. And if I give access to my calendar, it can even update it automatically and do so much more. Now, if you ask me what is the difference between an assistant or a workflow and an AI agent, I will tell you that an agent has the autonomous behavior, whereas a workflow is simply static. It's just like, you're following one instruction after the other. Um, Now, technical definition, technically, an agent has LLM as its brain and has access to a variety of APIs and external tools like CRMs or Weather API, Gmail, and so much more. Um, So yeah, that's how I define the agent. And it seems that my camera still is having a problem. Um, Talk about technical difficulties at a live webinar. It's real.
It's exciting. But whether technical difficulty as you work the camera, it doesn't change the fact. I appreciate the start off and the response on the question. Gets oriented on what AI agents are. So we hear a lot about AI agents, and I'm glad that you grounded us on what they are and kind of the differences of what we've seen in other technologies. So now we're coming up to now people are finding out about AI agents and they kind of want to use them.
Mhm.
From your experience, especially your industrial experience working with AI agents, what is that aha moment that convinces someone that an AI agent is the right solution?
Aha moment. Okay, let's think. Okay, imagine an AI agent that checks in with chronic patients. For example, the patients that are who are managing diabetes or hypertension. The agent comes and monitors your symptoms. It tracks medication adherence and even schedule follow-ups automatically. At first glance, that might sound like another automated reminder system, right? But the real shift happens when the agent starts reasoning. It recognizes when a patient's response suggests risk or proactively escalates to a clinician or adjusts the communication frequency based on this engagement. Now that's when people realize that this isn't just a software following a script. It's actually a system that understands context and it acts with purpose. The outcome, it's better disease management, fewer acute interventions, and more human bandwidth for what truly requires empathy and expertise. And at the end of the day, um, that's what we are striving for, right? And so that's the light bulb moment for most teams when they see that AI agents don't just automate tasks, they amplify intelligence across the system. So yeah.
And it seems that with the light speed that, uh, well, we're talking about AI agents, but they're based on LLMs, it seems like that will continue to evolve, especially with the not only just the basic LLMs we have, but now as they get specialized, then they get focused for different domains. That gives an opportunity to use the different agents accordingly. So if they have that aha moment, then why would organizations and developers um, so interested in build? Why are they so interested in building agents right now? As far as that trend, I mean, I see the need, but it seems like all of a sudden there's this amazing energy toward our interest in building them. But what do you see is that that impetus at this moment that's pushed that movement?
Okay. Hmm, that's a good one. So I live in San Francisco, where most tech innovations happen.
Hmm.
Every other startup here is building some kind of an AI agent or things that will help build AI agents. Every other big company is now trying to automate and embed agentic systems into their product and internal processes. Why? Well, multiple reasons. Reason number one, huge competition to stay ahead. Reason number two, economics. Agents basically directly impact efficiency and return of investment or ROI. Now, the main reason is now, after seeing the agents in production, people are realizing how productive agents can make humans save money from redundant processes and allow humans to be more creative. And with like, I don't know if you've heard it, but there is talent shortages and the
Hmm.
rising operational costs. Agents aren't just a novelty, they are becoming digital teammates. And I'll give you one classic example of this. GitHub Copilot or Cursor. They are your coding buddies. And gone are those days when I would think about, lead code questions and think about how to solve or how to write the code from scratch.
Uh-huh.
Now, with these, it can help you build GitHub repos or raise a PR or automate the code base entirely, just based on a few natural language commands that you give to it, which, by the way, is also known as vibe coding for those who don't know. My my point is that it's no longer about automating tasks. It is about enhancing what humans can do. That's why I feel, the organizations are so interested in building agents now.
You know, I see you made a good point that's come up not only the AI agent, but actually in the if you look at the general landscape of AI in general, this fear of
Mhm.
replacing, and you've brought up a topic that I actually advocate a lot is that, they're great um, um, assistant, if you will. Is there any validity to the fear of AI agents being a part of that uh, takeover, if you will, of jobs? Do you see that as an accelerator, or are you grounded in that area of they are an assistant and they will become better assistants as things progress? What do you perceive from your perspective?
So are you asking like, how we can see the collaboration between humans and the agents?
Well, yes, and there's two there's kind of two pictures here. One is
Hmm.
I agree with you as far as the benefit of AI in general and agents in particular as being assistants, being collaborators. But I guess I wanted to get your perspective and your take. We also hear the fear of jobs being replaced. And how do you see agents in that, um, what may cause that fear of accelerating that potential or enhancing that fear of replacing human capital? Do you see agents as maybe enhancing that perspective of fear of being replaced, the way they work as collaborators and enhancing that ability?
I see. So there have been like there's a lot of controversy, or it can basically like people are genuinely afraid. I'll give you an example. Just like 2 weeks ago, when I went to give a talk at a conference in Ohio, I attended another talk where the
Hmm.
speaker asked people, "How do we feel about AI?" I jumped and shouted, "I'm excited." There were other people whose emotions were scared, concerned, confused. So when I heard that, I'm like, okay, these people, like, there are many people around the globe who are actually genuinely afraid of AI replacing their jobs. But the thing is, like many of those, AI influencers or people who have worked in AI and, innovated or brought some big innovations, like Andrew Ng, for example, AI is not really here to replace. AI is here to enhance your productivity, help you be more creative, and actually just augment, not replace. That is what my opinion is as well. It's like, yes, it will replace your job if you are not in AI or not learning how to actually use the AI in your, daily jobs or whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
So yes, I would say that, you know, learn learn how to use different tools, because if you are going to left behind, then yes, the possibility of you losing a job is real, because there's so much automation happening around the globe with AI. So wouldn't replace it if you are up with it, is what I'm trying to say. Does that
Understand.
answer your question?
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. It's funny. I was at an event a couple of weeks ago where we talked about AI and education, and one of the
Hmm.
things I advocated for is the need to learn how to learn, be experts in getting our students to learn how to learn, and that's what we talk a lot about learning, but I think it's just accelerating the fact that we just become professional learners
Hmm.
and applying that to AI because AI is accelerating everything, including our need to learn with the constant uh, evolution of products and techniques that you can use with it, just as you mentioned. Now speaking of using it, is there a particular domain or types of problems where AI agents actually shine more than others? Or not more than it's but like a strong area, a strong point.
Um, let's, oh, okay. For a second, I got muted or something. Um, Actually, do you mind repeating your question? The technical
Sure,
difficulties here
sure.
are distracting a little bit.
So the question is there's always a certain type of problem. There
Hmm.
may be a certain type of problem or domain where if you want to show the power of AI agents, this is a good domain or these are good domains to do it. Are there certain domains or some aspects of a domain that would would be like, hey, this is an excellent area where AI agents actually shine?
Where they shine. Okay. So let's see. I have so many examples. I'm trying to like gather
I
my
figured
thoughts.
you
Like,
would in your
where do
job. That's why I know. It's like, well, which one?
exactly like which one to talk about?
Well, what do you hear? What do you get questions about mostly? What do you hear the people most excited about? I mean, your area where you're working as a developer advocate, you're in contact with the folks who are building it. Do you
Mhm.
get a lot of feedback from developers in a certain domain, or is it pretty spread out?
It's actually like pretty spread out. Like, and the most like the common question is about, like we discussed about discussed the collaboration thing.
Uh-huh.
And people keep asking me like, okay, where are you really using AI agent? And like the one example I gave you was the GitHub Copilot or Cursor.
Yes. Yes.
So these are the coding agents. And believe me, I have been using, or I have been vibe coding since over a year, and
Uh-huh.
it's just so much fun. And another example of say coding agent I will give you, it's my personal
Mm-hmm.
experience, and it also ties back to how you can collaborate, because the other question that I get asked is like, how do you collaborate with an AI
Mm-hmm.
agent, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the fun example is that so I do not like front-end engineering or web development. I just like, I don't know what happens in my brain, it just shuts off. Um, so there is this tool called bolt.new that helps you create websites and deploy them.
Mm.
The way I built my personal website is just by giving prompts in English to Bolt, and it creates a website for me. Now, the funny twist to all of this is that I asked ChatGPT to write me a prompt that Bolt will understand. And voila, it creates a nice looking and functional website.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's pretty cool. And the other like examples, or another most recent example is that so like you mentioned earlier, I work at Telnix and we
Uh-huh.
do lots of voice AI agents.
Mm-hmm.
The most recent example of an agent that I worked on was
Mm-hmm.
building this voice agent that I can call to, which means like I have the agent gets a phone number. I
Mm-hmm.
can call that phone number, or the agent can call me and ask me to share any notes I want to note down, whether it's a to-do list, reminders, or whatever thought I want to write down. Okay. And then what it does is it sends it to my Slack channel, all automatically, with all the
Mm.
words well transcribed in English the way I had said it. And
Mm-hmm.
it actually even, puts it in a bullet format if it's a to-do list. So that's how crazy the automation is. And honestly, there's a lot more automation. These are just like very basic examples. And I can even like talk about how businesses are thinking about automation and so on and so forth. But I'll let you ask me other questions if you have.
I will. Actually, I got one question comes to as you talk about interacting with the human and computer um, collaboration. I mean, that's been a topic throughout the series as far as human computer interaction. I had something happen to me before. Oh, well, actually, let me go back a bit. There's the classic Turing test of
Mhm,
intelligence, well, not the Turing test, but the intelligence is you can interact with the computer, interact with a computing machine, an intelligent machine, and not know or mistaking it as a human as far as interacting with it. Kind of a test of an intelligent machine. Um, and you've heard that. That's kind of that was a fundamental um, thought put out quite a few decades ago. And I actually had an experience before where I was actually chatting at a site, actually a
mhm,
government site, uh, and I asked a question that was quite involved, and I got the response back, and it was perfect response, quite robust. Not, I thought I was talking. I said, well, "Thank you very much, I appreciate it," and I disconnected. Afterwards, I reflected on it. I said, "Wait a minute. There's no way a person could have got all of the diverse information I got so quickly, summarized it, and gave it to me so quickly as I just did as I was talking, as I thought of something to this the human agent." So I think I had an experience where I was interacting with
mhm,
an AI agent or system, and I didn't realize it. So anyway, back
mhm.
up for a second. Given that, um, are there any kind of simple, relatable example of AI agents in action where people might already be interacting with it and not realizing it?
Okay. Hmm. Have you, so I use a Google phone. So I'm gonna give you an example of a Google Assistant. So
Oh,
all the Android phones basically have Google Assistant.
uh-huh.
Now, people have it on their phone, what is happening with that assistant? It's using all the Gemini models, which are the LLMs from Google,
Uh-huh.
and the Google Assistant basically then have access to YouTube, Calendar, Gmail, and many other such apps that basically will help you give the real-time information.
Hmm.
And with that, it's actually able to automate your work. And that's like the one example I can think that it's a clear use case of an agent using perception, reasoning, and action in a real world task.
And people are probably not even aware that it's happening, you know.
Exactly, exactly. That's what it.
Okay, I understand. And actually
Mm.
that's happened to me. I have Google, not Google, but I have Android, and I see that in actually in the searching too, that I get a lot of the AI assistant back, and I assume that's going to probably increase as we go,
Yeah.
as we
Yeah.
continue to
Yeah.
use them.
Okay, I think I lost you there. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
I can hear you and see you now.
Oh,
Welcome.
perfect.
I don't know what you did, but
I'm
congratulations.
the one talking this whole time.
Then you put a face to a voice. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, well, welcome into another dimension. We actually see Solon now. But thanks for all the great answers before. Okay, so we've talked about the big picture and how they make our life better. All right.
Mhm.
So can you walk us through kind of what is the an anatomy of an AI agent? Kind of what are those components if when we think about an
Mhm.
AI agent, excuse me.
So it goes back to like a quick definition that I had earlier
Hmm.
about what an AI agent is. Because if we get into anatomy, that's going to take another session. So I'm gonna skip the super many details that there are.
That's
Um,
fine.
so everybody has heard of a large language model.
Hmm.
I'm assuming that at this point. So think of it. So AI agent, it's like an autonomous system. Now it has a brain, which is what LLM is. LLM acts as a brain to the agent. And then it has access to different tools. So for instance, the Slack example that I gave you earlier, the voice agent that I built. Now I attached multiple models to a voice agent. So I had an LLM. So for example, Meta's Llama models or OpenAI models. That's an LLM I chose. And then after that, I gave it an access. I gave that agent access to the Slack API.
Hmm.
Now, then you have the user's prompt, which, by the way, is very essential. If people think that prompt engineering is a joke, it's not a joke. You have to write good prompts that because it drives the efficiency and the quality of the results. It's not the whole thing, but it drives it. So a user writes a prompt, it goes into the LLM, it does its magic behind the curtains, it accesses the tool, gets you the real-time information or communication patterns. And if you have attached like a workflow to it, or if it connects to your database, it will basically use your database or the content from your database to make a decision or give an answer to the user's query. So it's the LLM, your data, and any tools that you have attached. All this combined with the user query, which is the prompt,
Hmm.
and the result that you get, this is what's happening behind the curtains. So
Yeah.
that's like, brief overview of an anatomy of an agent.
Oh, I appreciate it. Now you've talked about one agent. Are what about the aspect of maybe multiple agents? You know, you talk about making a decision, but as and collaborating with humans.
Mhm.
I don't know in your current role now or in others. Uh, can you talk about federations or agents working together to make
Yeah.
decisions?
Yeah, so multi-agent system, it's quite fun. So in my previous job as well, my previous job, the product is basically an agentic platform where you can build single agent or multi-agent system. And at my current job as well, we are doing something similar, but specifically to voice, for voice
Hmm.
agents.
Hmm. Right.
So it's like how, you have a team. So you are the team coordinator, you have four other people tasked to do different things. So
Hmm.
you are the main agent or team agent. And then
Mm-hmm.
all those other things are your sub agents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the main agent or the team agent, for example, you are going to give instructions to the other agents. Now,
Mm-hmm.
those agents are going to have their own instructions of whatever their task is, and they're going to carry out once they are called for it. But they all come back. You are the one, the team agent, managing all your sub agents. And usually, when the task gets too complex, for like it's not meant for one person to handle, that's when you use the multi-agent system or yeah, team of agents basically. Because then what happens is that each of these agents have their own LLM, have their own required tool access or whatever. It does its job in parallel. And once all of those agents have done their task, it will give it back to the team agents. And there are many different variations. Those sub agents can pass it along to the other agent. It depends on how you have set it up. But
Uh-huh.
in general, it's like there's a team coordinator and then you have agents. So it's like a teamwork. That's how you
Right.
can envision a multi-agent system. So it can go one way or the other. If the agents are set properly, the task will be, very well organized and
Mm-hmm.
you get efficient results. But sometimes it could even take longer. So when I was at my previous job, we used to first analyze if that task can be actually done or handled by one agent. Because these LLMs are pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
With the gazillion parameters that these LLMs come with,
Mm-hmm.
you can manage it. But then,
A
um,
gazillion is a lot.
okay, don't take it literally, but you know what I mean.
Or maybe a billion or a trillion, but gazillion, that's just
Billion?
too many.
I know. I know. But yeah, anyway, so that's what like multi-agent system really is. And yes, it
Mm-hmm.
has its own pros and cons, and we can
Mm-hmm.
get into it next time. But yeah.
Okay, and so you kind of answered the question that's kind of follow from that is I've been around and worked with multi agents for decades. I mean, multi agent systems for decades, not to focus on AI agents. And you just described as kind of that classic multi agent framework. Are there really industrial strength multi agent systems now that industry is using
Mhm.
that are available, or is it still kind of on that bleeding edge area of multi AI agent systems?
I think that there are companies, whether it's especially in healthcare, retail,
Uh,
e-commerce, these are like the industries, and at Telmix, we see a lot of use case in these verticals.
Gotcha.
So there are like we have built multi-agent systems for these kind of industries. Like, yeah, someone in the audience also mentioned pharma. And yes, like pharma also has lots of development. But yeah, so to answer your question, multi-agent systems are in production. People are using it, and even like um, I don't know the entire like the architecture of how Cursor was made, the coding ID that I mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm,
that I
mm-hmm,
believe is also a multi-agent system.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
people are using it, and it is successful.
Okay. Well, I would
Mhm.
imagine it's a powerful tool. So now we jumped in so quickly. I got to set the stage, let everybody know that if you have questions, feel free to ask. And I'm going to ask our host, Patricia, if there are any questions. We haven't actually announced, but if there's any questions, you don't have to go to the end. You can put them up. We will. Patricia will let us know. Actually, I gotta take a look and we can try to adjust it. Uh, and let me see. Are there any questions? Oh, I saw the comment in there about pharma. Okay. So anyway, to let you know if there's any questions, put them into the chat, and then
Oh,
our host will put up a question for us.
there it
And you
is.
see it there, Sonam. Can you see the
Yeah,
question? Okay.
I can. Okay, so Joe's asking, what is your opinion about if the job can be automated? It if it was a useless job anyways.
Automated away. That's my goal.
I mean, yeah, like in the beginning when I was saying that some of the jobs like AI can augment human work,
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say that, yes, there is automation, and that's the automation is here to help humans do their job better. And if it is like data entry or
Hmm.
very mundane job that you don't want to do,
Right.
um, yeah, you can automate it for sure. And
So,
yeah,
yes, we can automate that mundane job.
yeah,
Oh, excellent. Okay. If there's
there's
any
an
others, feel free
there is
to.
another one I
Oh,
can
there
say.
is.
It seems the most jobs, Stephen is saying, it seems the most jobs in danger are repetitious jobs, much like robots in the auto industry. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you've been to San Francisco or Austin, Texas. You will see the self-driving cars driving around the road like it's nothing. I mean, I have taken those rides in the self-driving car. As much as it feels cringe to sit and feel ghostly that there is no driver driving the car. Yeah, the robots in the auto industry, but like the self-driving car is definitely a robot, and it's controlled by the company. And also like some of the, I think robots are pretty much like there are so many places. I know that there was a time, like there was some last year or this year, I remember space was it SpaceX or I can't remember, but there were like instances where people were talking about robots folding laundry, and I'm like, please give me that robot. I hate folding laundry, Jesus. uh, and
And I
then
think
like
they
in
come
the
across as repetitive and useless.
exactly. Exactly. And even at one of the conferences I visited, I attended a few weeks back in SF, there
Hmm.
was a company where they had a robot looking dog. And I know in Boston, some of the universities are also working on robotic dogs. So I don't exactly know what they do, but I know for a fact that they can carry stuff for you around. And I
They can
saw
do
like
what?
this, they can carry stuff for you, like your
Ah,
packages or
yes.
things like that.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And there was a robot that was dancing and making nice, cool dance hip hop moves and whatnot. I'm like, holy crap. Okay. So, yeah. Um, I don't know if the jobs are in danger, but I mean, yes, people have different opinions about jobs in danger and whatnot, and that's like an ongoing controversy. But yeah, that's what I think. They're augmenting and not exactly replacing.
Right. Well, I got you mentioned you've talked a lot about so far about the collaboration between humans and robots, and even I mean, robots, humans and AI agents, and even we talked about collaboration between AI
Mhm,
agents. Now we've introduced a different variable then in what we consider teamwork.
mhm.
So, are there lessons from human teamwork or psychology that can inform us how to design these AI agents, since now they're part of our team as we work?
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if that comes into it or not, but what's your perspective on that?
I don't know if I can speak much to the psychology part. Um, from from what I can tell, like I personally like to work with, like I want to do like an actual collaboration. The
Uh-huh.
digital teammates is what the term I used earlier. Um, so that's what like I would like to work with it. And of course, like these agents, the way people are building it, they are putting a lot of like, guardrails and
Hmm.
safety
Hmm.
um instructions and such so that it
Hmm.
doesn't go haywire.
Hmm.
Um, and different use cases basically require different kinds of guardrails or instructions to go with the agents. But if you don't put those guardrails there, then yes, the privacy or safety or trust, those are the things like, something that would be compromised. Did that answer your question or did I misinterpret your question?
It did. In fact, I'm going to come back to that issue of kind of the ethics in a bit. That's a very important topic, actually. But I wanted to flip the question actually now.
Hmm.
I asked you about the side of the robots. In your view, what would you see the skills humans would need to work effectively along AI agents? From what you're telling me, it's here to stay. If you're going to be productive, you got to be able to collaborate with them. Is there
Hmm.
something we need to think about as far as what kind of skill set you need or mindset you need to be able to work
Hmm.
effectively with AI agents?
That's a very good question. So the kind of skills that you're going to need is to first actually understand how these system works. And I don't mean to go into the deep architecture of the
Hmm.
LLMs or the tools or anything, but have
Right.
like some basic understanding how it is
Hmm.
exactly working.
Hmm.
And prompt engineering is going to be your best friend in all of this because the more clear instructions you give to it, the
Uh-huh.
more examples you set, it's going to
Uh-huh.
help you a lot. And I see I got some thumbs up, so people are agreeing in the audience with the prompt engineering point, which is true. I mean, I have played around with really bad prompts and see the agent spitting all nonsense. And
Right, right,
sometimes,
right.
like when I'm talking to the voice agent, I start yelling. I'm like, come on, dude, what are you doing? And then I check my prompt. I'm like, it needed that instruction. So it's
It's
like
doing what you told it.
exactly
Or
the,
didn't
the
tell
kind
it.
of exactly. So it's like the instructions you kind of give your intern on your,
Right.
the first week. So
Yes. No, that's not what I meant.
exactly. So that's what
Right,
it
right.
is. Like those are like the skills that you should definitely work on. And the other thing is it's not when I mentioned like you need to know how it works, it ties
Hmm.
down that don't blindly believe what you see. You have to review what it's saying. There are like, people use these generative AI and agents to write blogs and such, and they just
Hmm.
post it blindly. But
Right,
that's
right,
wrong
right.
because what if the information in it is makes no sense?
Hmm.
So yeah, lots of different things. That human overview or the human glance is definitely required. And yeah.
Excellent. I agree. It seems it's kind of interesting that whether we're talking uh, human teams or AI teams, communications is key. And I saw a question pop up, but it disappeared. Do you see it? Oh, there. All right. So you see there, I need to clarify the
Yeah.
question there.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I think I understand Steven's question from earlier, but yeah, Steven is right. Like there are some robots that are being heavily used for in the manufacturing area and stuff, but can't speak much to it because I don't have much knowledge around it. Oh, okay. Another question.
Ah,
Joe's asking, what's the right balance between human and AI contribution on a team? Okay, that's a very good question. So the way I see it is that the AI can do some of like the redundant tasks or redundant tasks that you have to do it on and on, like automating certain, I don't know, workflows or updating your calendar or things like that. Whereas humans can spend their time in strategizing, in building the relationship and making the hard decisions and strategic decisions, uh, planning those kind of things. So that's how I see the balance. Like humans can then like spend more time in those instead of spending their time fixing bugs in the code or things like that.
well, along what you said there, we're touching that balance between the automation and the human. It seems the trend is we've seen it happening that more and more decisions that impact our real world are being decided, even though we have the humans on the higher level, by agents or AI systems or AI agents as well. So, how do we assure accountability when an agent's decision has a
Mhm.
real world impact?
Okay. Real world impact.
Think, well, I don't know. I'll be quiet. I was going to say pharma, maybe, or I'll be quiet and let you think about it.
No, no, no worries. You you're asking like how do we control
So,
that?
well, yes, good, good. Maybe I'm not asking a question. Maybe let me rephrase it as that we have accountability. So, what if something, my answer comes that decision is made that goes bad, or that's kind of the accountability because now
Mhm.
we're having an impact on the real world. Is there a way to think about how that? accountability can be held?
I think that's where the guardrails, the
Mm-hmm.
safety guardrails, and human in the loop helps in this situation, and especially in the sensitive verticals like healthcare and pharma, for
Mm-hmm.
instance. You cannot let agent do everything in the sense like
Mm-hmm.
you cannot let, yes, it is giving a real world impact, but if the human is not in the loop, can you really trust it? That's where I get like, get stuck thinking that yes, we are automating, but are we completely like, not accounting, or like how are these agents held accountable? So I think I remember one of the talks or events I attended about around this topic, and that's when the
Mm-hmm.
speakers were saying, and everybody in the audience agreed as well. It's like human in the loop, safety guardrails, and trust. And those are like the two key components where it will make sure that, the agent is held accountable and not just going and doing whatever it wants, kind of thing.
So it sounds like what you've told me, the accountability comes from stopping it from doing something, not really more of the accountability has been defined as stopping it with the guardrails, or we're limited only to human making those decisions that would be in the accountable. I mean, is that kind of the summary you're putting when it comes to
Right.
accountability agents?
Yeah, so the guardrails are basically there so that it doesn't go out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, whatever result is like whatever result it's producing, it cannot be like, for example, biased towards one thing or the other. So it's like that's
Mm-hmm.
why those guardrails are there to make sure those things are not um, incorrect or inaccurate. And then the human in the loop, basically, that's like, at least in the sensitive verticals, it's like human is the last deciding factor,
Mm-hmm.
basically, that okay, everything looks good, let's go with it, kind of thing.
I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm thinking about how things evolve. I wonder
Mhm,
how that line's going to be set, where agent can make X decision, but X
mhm,
plus one is a human, and I wonder
mhm.
if that border is going to move and evolve. I'm just curious, and I just can't.
Yeah.
I would imagine it would, but I'm just a, just I wonder when you said that that's what's going through my head.
No, no, no. I think those are the right thoughts. Like it's like X plus one kind of thing. Yeah, I
Right.
can say that as well. Yeah.
But okay, well, we've been touching on the topic
hmm
around ethics and safety. So, um, are there any other ethical and safety concerns that arise when an AI agents they act autonomously that we should be aware of or think
hmm
about?
Uh, Honestly, I don't know if people are really talking about ethics as
Mm,
much as the responsible AI.
mm,
That's like more of a term that hear a lot more than ethical AI per se. And
mm,
when what I say about responsible AI, and believe me, I'm not justifying enough what really it means, because there's like a whole theory and there's more examples, there's more nuances in that
mm.
term that people need to be aware of, and I can't speak to all of that. But the thing is that knowing what that AI is doing, that's why you need to know. Like the kind of transparency, because most of these AI systems are black box. You don't really know how it's making the decision or how it's coming up to a certain result or what it's
Mhm,
really doing.
mhm,
So if you are like building, thinking about responsible AI, that's where like, I think that's what people should think more and more about. Uh, like, can you explain? Can you hold that AI system results? Like, and we touched on this, like who accountability and all those things, right? So
absolutely.
that's what I would say. There's a question. Can a human be able to obtain as much information as AI agents? No, the brain can't retain so much information. Schoolwork has been a challenge. I've asked to articulate on college level, yet when I use AI, I'm ridiculed for not using my own words. Uh, Human brain is it can hold a lot of information, but yes, it's challenging. You can't grasp all the information. That's why if you use AI, that's why it's augmenting. That's where it can help you with your college work if you use it right. And so yes, human brain cannot exactly retain all the information that an LLM or like an AI agent can have it, because AI agent has all the tools and human brain is not just the information holder. I would say there's so many things to it. Um, and and the person basically mentioned, like, they get ridiculed if they use AI and not use your own words. I think on college level, I would say, like I said earlier, you cannot just copy everything blindly. You need to add your own twist. AI, the way I use AI, I'll give you an example. The way I use AI is to give me ideas. Or if I'm writing a blog, check the grammar, check the transition between the sentences in my blogs or articles, and um, review it as if you are a reviewer and get me, like, give me some ideas that I might have missed. Or even before writing a blog, it's like I brainstorm with the AI system that, okay, this is the topic that I'm thinking, and these are my ideas. What do you think? And then it comes up with certain ideas that I didn't even think about. So that's how I used AI in my college work, on my job, when I'm writing certain things, or if I am working on some kind of project, it will come up with certain ideas. So that's the collaborative part. If you're going to use as is, well, especially in college level, then we have other problems. So that's why I would say that use AI, because you are not gonna not use AI at this point of time, but put it in your own words, give your own twist, review it, don't copy it blindly. Hope that
And
answered
that
your question, Danielle.
that follows the same trend of
Hmm.
collaborative and assistant.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm
exactly.
glad to see that trend. Yeah, I got another question for you, and I can't end without thinking about this. Is okay. So we have students, obviously, and professionals. What advice would you give students and professionals who want to get involved with building agents? How would
Hmm.
they? What's the first step? What is the hello world step of building AI agents if they were interested in exploring this topic more?
Absolutely love the question. My advice, it's not just one, unfortunately. I have multiple, so bear with me.
Go for it.
First one that I think of is, and this is something I think I already mentioned, understand the fundamentals before you blindly start building. Oh my God, the fundamentals are so important, because if you don't understand the fundamentals, you have no idea what the hell is going on.
Mhm.
So make sure that you spend some time understanding those fundamentals. Don't feel that you are missing out on something or the other. You'll be missing out on one thing or the other every time, because you can't know everything at the same time. You have to give yourself some time. But if you understand the fundamentals, knowing the other things is just going to be a piece of cake. Second, please don't be afraid of AI. Learn it, accommodate it, and adapt so you're not left behind. The other advice is, make sure whatever problem that you're solving actually needs an AI agent as a solution. Because sometimes not all the problems need a fancy AI agent solution. Sometimes it could be a simple Python script. Um, and then last but not least, let unleash your creativity, because the world of AI is your oyster. There are tools, platforms, communities for you to get involved in. And I want to emphasize on communities, because communities are like the biggest source for you to get help from, to learn from, because basing it on my personal experience, I've been part of this community AI camp for 3 years. I attend lots of events, webinars, participate in hackathons, and believe me, it's so much better to learn from other people than just reading it, online or books or anything. They are useful, but it's just like it's a magical thing to learn from other people, because you start brainstorming, then you ask questions and you learn other perspectives. So get involved in community. So that's those are like the different advice that I'd give.
Excellent. I appreciate that, Sonam. And it's great to get started. Wait to get started. Lots of times the barriers just take that first step. So I appreciate you having
Hmm.
that path for folks. I think we have one more question in the chat. If we can put that up. Thank you.
What skills will make humans indispensable alongside AI agents? And of course, in a few years, job hiring will be based on skills and not the job title. I wish that was the thing even now. Um, but what skills will make humans mm, indispensable? I think, like, again, like, understanding the fundamentals of these agents and uh, how they work, what are they meant to do, the prompt engineering, and like, leveling up your skills in whether it's, project planning or strategizing in business or understanding the problems, excuse me, or the different use cases that you're working on, your company is working on, excuse me. So those are like the kind of things or the kind of skills that will really help. And yeah, I think that's what I would say will really help you work alongside the agent.
Because those things make you work better with agents, what you just described. So that makes complete
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. It will get like, if you understand like the basics of how this particular system is working, you can play along with it, or you can
Hmm.
modify or tweak according to what you want it to be.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what like those skills will be very helpful.
I appreciate the question. I have one more question. Looks like we're getting a little short on time. How flies when we're having fun. But one is as we're getting here before the end, I want to make sure we have an opportunity if somebody has any questions. But I want to get one in here. Okay, next step. We're looking ahead.
Mm.
As we do, which I know it's this is always kind of how can you look into your crystal ball, but what would you say from your experience? What's next for AI agents, both technically and socially?
Oh, socially, that's quite important. But I'll answer the technically part first.
Okay, all right.
So, looking forward, I see two big thrusts. Technically, agents are pushing into more, the sensitive and high stakes domains. Think
Mm-hmm.
about like paying bills or financial advice.
Right.
But to get there, we will need like robust privacy, identity, audit trail, safety architecture, and so much more.
Mm-hmm.
The second is the agent to agent like communication and not the team of agents. I'm not talking about that. Imagine a team of agents and the other team of agents and then that communication.
Mm-hmm.
That's the communication protocol that I'm talking about. And that is something that people are researching. And I think a team from Google came up with this paper on agent to A2A. That's what it's called. A2A communication protocol. And I feel as much as it's in research right now, I think in the next couple of years, you might see that being in action. And so that's what I like, I'm looking forward to that, or that's what I think that will come up in the near future. Now, on the
Can I
social
just
side,
jump
yeah,
in real quick before you social? I'm sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you, but you
no worries.
sparked me there. So with that ADA, what does that
A to A.
mean then?
Mm-hmm.
A to A, right? Agent agent, is it? So
A
what
to
does
A,
that
yeah.
mean then for a what would that look like for everybody else if when that becomes a reality? I mean, what is that difference that we will notice?
That's a good point. It's like, um, and I'm gonna use an example because it's a scary example, but don't be scared. Anybody who's listening, don't be scared. I don't know if you guys have watched Avengers movie, and it was an Iron Man's robot called Jarvis, and then there was Ultron. And this is my imagination of how I think A to A might look like. But believe me, I can be wrong. I can be totally wrong because A to A communication protocol is still under research, so not everybody really knows what it's going to look like. Um, but that's what how I think, like agent to agent talking. So like Jarvis talking to Ultron and doing funky things. In the movie, it showed the scary part of it, but that's what I feel like. Okay, if I have this, I don't know, like a healthcare agent talking to the insurance agent, and
Mm,
then they are figuring things out on their own, and then letting
mm,
humans know this is what we have come up with, and if you give us a green light, we can move forward. So it's like
mm.
those are, that's what I imagine A2A protocol be like.
Got
But
it.
it's
Okay.
still research oriented. I do not know what the future holds
Right. So
in those
crystal
regards.
ball stage, but just
Mhm.
curious. It's
Yeah.
good to give folks some kind of perspective what's coming. So I'll let you
Mhm.
continue with the question
Yeah.
with the social part.
Yeah. So for the social side, all as these agents grow more autonomous, and again we touched on this, we will need stronger accountability frameworks, more privacy protection, consumer rights around what decisions can agent make. Then we'll have, like, all these topics such as demanding the regulators demanding traceability and human oversight. Then we have equity, fairness, accessibility. These are going to be the key conversations, like who gets to use these systems and under what safeguards. So, long story short, the future for agents is beyond automation. It's about aligning autonomy with trust, safety, and last but not least, human values. So, yeah, that's
Got it.
that's what I envision.
Well, I appreciate your insight, Sona, man, and I thank you for the time to share with us your not only your thoughts and your perspectives, but your as I mentioned, your insights from working quite well and deeply in this domain for a while. So thank you for joining us and making this I think a very lively and informative of hour.
Thank you
So
so much for all the good questions. I really
well,
appreciate that. And thanks to the audience for asking these questions. And I love the way they are thinking about it.
yes,
So keep those thinking neurons, let them fire.
absolutely, I agree with you. Thank you. So then that wraps up part three of the Computer of the Brain, a data analytics talk series. And this one was AI agents and all that comes with it. I want to have a sincere thank you to you, Dr. Sonam, for this engaging and insightful conversation. Your perspective helped us look beyond the buzzwords and see AI agents for what they truly are: systems that can learn, adapt, collaborate, your keyword, with us in ways that are changing how we work and think and communicate. So today's discussion kind of reminded us that building AI agents isn't just a technical challenge, just as Sonam ended, it's a human one. It requires creativity, responsibility, and empathy. And as Dr. Gupta highlighted, the most powerful agents are ones that that not those replace, but those help us extend our abilities and focus on what makes us uniquely human, allows us to think at a higher level. So as we close, I invite you to continue this exploration in our final session of the series, where we'll shift from what AI agents to do, or what AI agents do, to how they and we actually think. So in December 17th, same time, noon, for an hour, we got part four: cognitive architectures, how AI systems and human minds process information differently. Now, our speaker, who happens to be another alumni of HU, Dr. Srihar Ragula, he is an adjunct faculty at Columbia University. This session is going to delve into the fascinating parallels and contrasts between human cognition and artificial intelligence, from how neural networks recognize patterns to how the human brain interprets context and creates meaning. Dr. Ravula, he's going to help us explore how understanding these differences can lead to more effective collaboration between people and machines, just as Dr. Sonam has done and talked to us today on. So I thank each of you all and the audience who joined us for being part of the Computer in the Brain series. Hope today's conversation has sparked new ideas, inspired you to keep questioning, creating, and connecting at the intersection of computers and cognition. We look forward to seeing you again in December for our final talk uh, uh, entitled Cognitive Architectures. So
Thank you,
thank you again
everyone.
for joining us. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
Philnam.
for
I
having
wish
me.
everybody a wonderful day. And that concludes today's session. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.